Well, today marks 1 year since Pope Francis was installed as pontiff. Since the day of his election, Francis has become one of the most recognized people in the world, from being the first pope to be from the Americas to a tendency toward humility and his down-to-earth nature. Francis has ushered in a new era in the Catholic Church. So how has his first year as pope gone? Father John Geaney with the Diocese of Grand Rapids joins us tonight. Thank you so much for being here.
You're welcome. I'm delighted to be here.
So tell us a little bit about what you think the first year has shown. We know that Pope Francis has 10 million followers on Twitter. He's been called the Pope of the people.
He is, absolutely. The thing that strikes me the most is that when I talk to the people about the Pope at the cathedral, you hear them saying he's such a lift. He's such a person to help us recognize what our faith is all about. He is so human. He is so genuine. And I really think that's where the key is. He's so genuine.
Yeah. He seems to have really had an effect. I know they did a poll about Catholics in Europe.
Yep.
And they said that they have seen many more people become more enriched in their faith, and even he has appealed to make people start coming back to church. Do you think he's had that same kind of impact in America?
It's, according to the polls, no. What he has is a very high popularity. Has it turned into people coming back to church as much as might be expected? Seems perhaps no. But it's only been a year. People forget that.
Yeah.
He's only been around for a year.
So we'll see how that continues.
So we'll see how that continues. Faith development takes a long time to work through. It's not going to happen overnight. And even when the brilliance of his light, you're going to have to work at that particular situation.
I also noticed that he has inspired people to volunteer more. I think that speaks to the way he's living his life.
Well, I think the major thing about the Pope, for me, a lot of people say he's a brilliant leader, blah, blah, blah. My thing, I believe, is he is so genuine in what he does. He says we should all embrace the poor, and then he does it. We should all live simply, and he does that. And it's not easy to do that. I mean, people have no idea the way the papacy is bound up by tradition. I mean, I can remember when I was working with John Paul II on some visits here in the United States, working with the press, that I would say to myself and to others, if I were the Pope, I'd change that. And all the time you hear, oh no, the tradition is. Whereas this Pope comes along and says, I don't care what the tradition is. The tradition is nobody rides in the elevator with the Pope. First time off the piazza at St. Peter's, he comes in, he gets into the elevator, and he says to all the cardinals, come on in.
Yeah.
You know, and they're all like, we can't do that. Well, they did do that.
Right.
And then he went downstairs and he got into his own car. He didn't get driven around. I paid his own bill, all that stuff. I mean, he was doing what he believed in. And I think he does that today. He does what he believes in, and that's what people see, and that's what lifts people up.
Yeah, he's removed a lot of those walls. Yeah,
absolutely.
That have been in place.
Absolutely.
You sound like a big fan of his. Now tell me, what do you think he should be looking forward to next year as we move forward, or years after next? I mean, what do you think he needs to move into now?
Well, I think what he's going to do, the first thing he's doing is dealing with the family, because he realizes there are many, many situations in our church and throughout the world that need help in terms of family, getting family life back where it needs to be. And so he has begun already doing a survey. Nobody's ever done a survey before. I said that to the people at the cathedral. I said, hey, the Pope is asking you to answer some questions. For heaven's sakes, go online and answer them. And if you can't get it online, I got a copy of the questions right here, you know, so that they would do that. And I said, you have said probably to yourself many times, why don't they ever ask me? Well, here he is. The Pope is asking you. Answer the questions, tell them what you really believe.
So he's encouraging participation, he's leading by example.
Absolutely, yeah, wonderful.
Okay.
You know, it's just a wonderful opportunity for the church,
okay.
And he makes it happen.
Well, Father Geaney, thank you so much for joining us. We'll have to wait and see how he continues to play out his legacy.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us.